Welcome to This Explainer. You know, when you look at an elephant, you aren't just seeing a really big animal. You're actually looking at millions of years of brilliant, highly specialized biological engineering. Today, we're going to break down exactly how these magnificent creatures survive and thrive using three main physical adaptations: their trunk, their tusks, and their ears.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at nature's ultimate survival machines. Then, we dive into the multi-purpose trunk, followed by tusks, built-in survival tools. After that, ears, cooling and communication. And finally, masters of their environment.
All right, Part 1. Nature's ultimate survival machines. Looking beyond the sheer size of the largest land animals. To really understand them, we've got to start by appreciating the absolute jaw-dropping scale of these terrestrial giants.
11. Now, the biggest recorded African bush elephant weighed a staggering 11 tons. To put that into perspective for you, a typical male can weigh the exact same as 5 family cars. Their mammoth proportions alone are an incredible adaptation, kind of making them seemingly impervious to predators. But here's the crucial point. Immense size alone just isn't enough to survive in the unforgiving and often totally resource-scarce environments of Africa and Asia. A hefty torso needs some really specialized tools to keep it fueled, hydrated, and cool.
Moving on to Part 2, the multi-purpose trunk. It really is the ultimate appendage for securing resources and defense. This feature is actually so mechanically complex that when a baby calf is born, they literally trip over it. It takes these calves up to 9 whole months just to learn how to properly siphon water with it instead of just clumsily kneeling down in the mud to drink.
Anatomically speaking, the trunk is called a proboscis. It's really a fusion of the upper lip and the nose, with the nostrils running right down the center. And hey, this isn't some lightweight garden hose. On a mature elephant, this highly evolved mechanical wonder weighs an astonishing 140 kilos. It's completely prehensile too, meaning it's super grippy from the base all the way to the tip.
Okay, get ready for a massive wow moment. 40,000. The trunk contains over 40,000 muscles. Because of this incredibly dense bundle of large and small muscle fibers, the trunk is simultaneously strong enough to push down an entire tree, yet somehow delicate enough to pluck a single tiny piece of fruit.
19. This number brilliantly illustrates their sensory power too. We usually tend to think of dogs or maybe rats as the kings of scent, but research actually shows the elephant's sense of smell is the absolute best in the mammalian world. A thirsty elephant can detect vital water sources from more than 19 kilometers away. Just imagine being able to smell a fresh glass of water from the next town over. It's wild. In terms of daily survival, the trunk does it all. It acts as a built-in snorkel, so elephants can completely submerge while swimming. It acts as a hose, and actually, they don't drink through it like a straw. They suck up to 4 liters of water into it at once and then spray it directly into their mouths. They also use it to sling mud and dust all over themselves to act as a natural sunscreen and bug spray. Plus, it's their go-to tool for grabbing food, communicating through subtle little gestures or loud trumpeting, and even striking out in self-defense. It literally is the ultimate biological multi-tool.
Now, this incredible tool does differ across species. If you ever want to know if you are looking at an African or an Asian elephant, just check out the tip of the trunk. African elephants have 2 distinct fingers on the tip that they use to carefully pinch and hold objects. Asian elephants, on the flip side, have just a single finger right on the top edge of their trunk tip.
All right, Part 3. Tusks, the built-in survival tools. We're demystifying nature's crowbars here. If the trunk is a multi-tool, then the tusks are absolutely nature's heavy-duty crowbars.
Let's clear up a really common misconception right off the bat. Tusks are not horns. They're made of ivory, which is a type of dentin. So they are actually extra long incisors, literally teeth that grow right out of their upper jaw, and they never stop growing throughout the animal's entire life. On an African elephant, an average set of these teeth can reach 2.4 meters in length.
But much like the trunk, tusk development varies wildly depending on geography. Over in Africa, both male and female elephants grow these massive tusks. But in Asia, tusks are generally only seen on the males or the bulls. So what about the Asian females? Well, about 50% of them grow what are called tushes, which are these tiny mini tusks that barely extend 5 centimeters beyond the top lip. You really only see them when their mouth is open.
So the crucial takeaway here is how they actually use them. Elephants act as major environmental manipulators. And fun fact, just like humans are left or right-handed, elephants are left or right-tusked. You can actually tell which one they favor because it'll be shorter from all the wear and tear. They use these built-in crowbars to uproot heavy vegetation, dig for hidden water during intense dry spells,
and extract vital salt and minerals straight from the earth. They'll even use them to tear into baobab trees, just to expose the fleshy, moisture-rich wood inside that holds thousands of liters of water.
Moving into part 4, ears. Focusing on cooling and communication. These are basically their AC units and radar dishes. Now we are shifting gears from gathering food and water to dealing with one of the absolute greatest threats to their survival: extreme heat. So, how exactly does an 11-ton animal survive the blazing heat without sweating? It's a fascinating problem, right? When you're a massive 11-ton animal with incredibly thick skin, living in the blistering sun of the savanna or the humid tropics, and you literally can't sweat, how do you avoid completely overheating? Well, the answer is hidden right there within their enormous ear flaps. Let's step through this totally ingenious biological HVAC system. While an elephant's skin can be 3 centimeters thick on its back, the skin on its ears is surprisingly paper-thin. First, warm blood from the elephant's massive core circulates into this thin-skinned ear network. Second, the elephant flaps its ears, acting like a giant fan to blow outside air over them and cool the blood directly. And third, that newly cooled blood recirculates right back into the body, lowering their overall temperature. In fact, evolutionary biology shows us that the closer these animals live to the equator, the larger their ear flaps evolve to be. It's perfectly designed.
And this brilliantly illustrates one of nature's greatest geographical coincidences. You can actually use their ears as a map to tell exactly where they are from. African elephants have large ear flaps that are shaped remarkably like the continent of Africa itself. Asian elephants have smaller ear flaps that, quite fittingly, are shaped just like India. It's a fantastic natural signpost that makes identifying them at a quick glance incredibly easy.
But hey, they aren't just air conditioners. They are powerful radar dishes and shields. Those large ears collect sound waves perfectly. When you couple that with some highly specialized nerve endings, an elephant can detect low-frequency communication rumbles from other herds up to 10 kilometers away. And when it comes to defense, an elephant will flare those massive ears out wide to create an instantly imposing visual wall. It sends a very clear message to any predator that this 11-ton beast is definitely not to be messed with.
Finally, part 5, masters of their environment. It is time to synthesize this biological masterpiece and really look at the bigger ecological picture.
So why does all of this matter? Well, because these 3 physical adaptations don't just keep the individual elephant alive, they literally make the elephant a keystone species. By using their tusks to dig deep water holes during a drought, they're providing life-saving water for countless smaller animals. As they use their trunks to consume up to 150 kilos of vegetation every single day, their massive digestive systems package up seeds and deposit them in manure up to 60 kilometers away from the original source. They are, quite literally, planting the forests of the future. They clean, fertilize, and sustain the entire environment for everyone else.
Which leaves us with this final, really vital thought to reflect on. Millions of years of brilliant evolutionary trial and error perfectly equipped the elephant to conquer its environment. The trunk, the tusks, the ears, they are flawless natural tools. But can it protect them from the rapid loss of their habitat? These incredible biological defenses are just no match for human impacts. With expanding agriculture, rapidly shrinking and fragmenting their space, alongside the ongoing threat of poaching for the ivory and those very tusks, the elephant faces an unprecedented challenge. Nature spent millions of years perfecting this magnificent creature. So what role will we play in ensuring it continues to roam the earth? Think about that for a bit. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.